Hello and welcome to ACS Golf and today's video. Now this is a versus video. This is where I put two clubs against each other to find out who is a winner. And today's a bit of a special one because it's going to be selecting my 3-wood that is going to be in my bag. I've actually got a tournament coming up this weekend. Normally play a 5-wood, but it is on a links course. I want a 3-wood just to have that little bit more penetrating fly. Now let's go into the two competitors. So the first one is this. The Titleist TSR2. So this is actually about to be replaced by the GT lineup. So do be aware, you're going to be able to get this on a really good deal soon. Now, I've done a review of this club already, so do check it out on the channel. Really, really good club, good distance, amazing feel, and good forgiveness. Now, this is my current 3-wood at the moment. Absolutely love it. It is an absolute beauty. However, I managed to pick up a competitor. So I went down to my local store, so Silvermere, and I saw this. It was basically an old model. Well, it's not an old model. It's actually the brand new current model, but a club that they've been using in testing, and they would just decide to get rid of it at a really, really decent price. And it's this, the Mizuno ST-G Titanium. I've always wanted to get my hands on one of these and give it a go because I'm a huge fan of Mizuno, especially their more recent fairway woods drivers. I really think they're up there with the big boys now, especially with their current lineup. And so, I wanted to give it a test and also to see, and to show you guys that this, Mizuno ST-G Titanium fairway wood really is a match, if not better, potentially, than the Titleist TSR2, which, let's be honest, Titleist have been making amazing fairway woods for years and years and years and years. I mean, you look on tour, majority of the players there, well, not majority, but I think a high percentage of players that will be using Titleist words because they're just that good. So really good test to see if this Mizuno can match up to this TSR2. So I'm really looking forward to this. And in the end, I could have a new 3-wood in the bag, or I could be sticking with this one. Immense. Now, what I'm going to do is with a versus video, I am going to show you a closer look up at both these clubs. Not going to lie, on the top, very, very similar. The only thing that's different is that logo in the middle. You've got the TSR there, which is sort of the alignment aid, and you've got the bird from Mizuno alignment aid there. But shape-wise, very, very, very similar, if not pretty much exactly the same. Also, both very smart-looking photos. Look at that. Black on the top, and really not that much happening on the bottom either. So I'll have a closer look at the clubs. Then we'll come back here and I'll just go very, very, very quickly through some of the technology that's in these clubs. If you want a more in-depth view of both clubs, then obviously the review for this is already on my channel, so check that out. And a review will be coming soon for this one as well, so check it out, because on those reviews, you'll get the full ACS Golf scale on there. Then we're going to hit the range, going to throw some figures at you, and then we're going to come back, decide a winner, and also say who is going into my bag and why. All right, let's have a closer look at, let's be honest, probably, if not the best looking fairway woods currently out there on the market. So there you go, absolutely gorgeous. I mean, on the top, as I mentioned, they look exactly the same. There's really nothing separating these two. On the bottom, maybe perhaps I prefer the Titleist TSR2 just because I like that sort of sleeker look there. But don't get me wrong, Mizuno is still a really, really good looking club. Really is. Been making some great looking clubs for years now. So yeah, I mean, personally, I did really like the blue. It'd be quite nice if they brought the blue back, but I think the way they've gone there is definitely a lot more happier for the masses sort of thing. Very smart looking. All right, now just quickly going into some of the technology in these clubs. Both adjustable sleeves, which is fantastic. The Mizuno, you can put it up by one, well, up by two, sorry, down by two, but it does affect the lie. One thing I love about the Titleist is you can also adjust the loft up and down. However, you can actually keep the lie the same. So you're basically not closing or opening the club face by changing the lie, while pretty much I think everyone else, when it comes down to their adjustable sleeve, that you are slightly closing or opening the face. So that for me is a tick with there. But again, both same sort of technology. Both you can loft it up or loft it down, which is great. So you can make it a forward or make it a two-word. So really, right around, really similar there. Both of these are actually titanium constructions. So Titleist don't use carbon. They don't think they've had carbon in their drivers or fairwoods or hybrids for years. The GT lineup that's coming out, obviously there's not really much information about them at the moment. When you watch this video, you might see more out there, but I don't think there's any carbon in them. By what I've seen of the new clubs, it doesn't look like there's still carbon in there. While Mizuno normally use carbon. All their drivers have carbon in there, so that carbon crown, their fairwoods as well, especially the Mizuno ST Max range this year. But for the titanium, it doesn't. This is a full titanium construction. So sort of old school there, old school from Mizuno, not if you're Titleist. Old school from Mizuno, full titanium construction. And then you sort of get still similarities. Obviously, the way they produce the face is slightly different. This TSR2 is a bit more of a forgiving model. Well, I'd say a lot more forgiving model than this titanium, to be fair. Got some more weight at the back here. You still do have some weight at the front there, and it is adjustable, so you can take it out. While with the Mizuno, this is very much, your low spin bomber. You've got titanium plate there. You've got a big titanium screw in there as well, to really push that weight forward. I believe it's titanium. Watch a full review just to double check that. But basically, you've got a weighted plate here, and then you've got a weighted screw here as well to bring that CG right to the front of the face and low on the body as well, to really get that low spin penetrating ball flight. So there you go. Similarities between the technology there. Nothing's too different, to be honest. It's just the weight position is slightly probably more forward on this and at the bottom than it is with this Titleist TSR2. You could obviously change this weight at the front there for a heavier weight, which would probably bring the weight more forward. Or you've got the TSR3, which has more weight at the front. So maybe you should probably put the TSR3 against this, but I think it's still a fair shout, just how good this club is. So there you go, just a very quick little look into the technology that's in these both clubs. Remember, as I mentioned, check out the review for this for more in depth, and remember to subscribe to the channel for the review of this in the coming weeks. Okay, now let's get down to the range. We're going to throw some figures at you, and then we're going to come back here. Well, not for the, I was about to say the ACS Golf Scale, but not today. Just for an overall winner and to say who is going in my bag. I'll also just mention, I had both these clubs out on the course as well. So I'll tell you a bit about the results of that also. All right, let's get down to the range and put these guys against each other. So here we are down the range, and the first shot was actually the only one I managed to get the tracer working for, which is really annoying, but never mind. Now, let's jump into those figures. So with a fairway wood, so 3-wood, I want roughly around 230 yards, if more when it comes down to total distance. I'm happy to say both these clubs hit that target. So with the Titleist TSR2, I had an average carry of 203 yards, total distance on 232 yards, ball speed 144 miles per hour, launch angle 9 and height 55. The longest on the day actually with the Titleist was actually a carry of 184 yards, total distance 242 yards, a ball speed of 150 miles an hour. Really caught it, but I only got a launch angle of 5. So that's why, even though I got really good distance on it, it didn't have the carry because I just didn't get the launch angle right. Now moving on to the Mizuno, so I had an average carry of there 214 yards, total distance of 239 yards, ball speed 141 miles per hour, launch angle 13 and height 71. With the Mizuno, the longest as well was 242 yards total distance. However, I actually managed to carry with that of 218 yards, ball speed 145 miles per hour, launch angle 13 degrees. So it just shows, you know, if you get that launch angle right, you can really get extra distance. So yeah, really happy with them both. It's just a quick table to show the Titleist TSR2 versus the Mizuno ST-G titanium. So just those figures out for you guys just to have a real good look at, and basically you can just see really how having the correct loft, even though the ball speed was down, can definitely improve that distance overall, because by having that, the Mizuno won it by a clear margin. So there you go, some surprising results from that actually. We do have an overall winner, personally for myself, but I'm a bit surprised by it. Now I'm going to tell you why. I'm not surprised about the distance from both these clubs, you know, averaging 232 yards, which is perfect, exactly what my 3-wood wants to be, total distance. You know, this averaging 239 yards. I might say that's a bit too long for my 3-wood, to be honest. But, you know, if we go into this, you know, there is a clear winner, and it is the Mizuno. You know, had an extra 11 yards carry over the TSR2, an extra 7 yards total distance over the TSR2. Ball speed was actually higher with the TSR2, actually. It was 3 miles per hour higher on average, was 144 miles per hour when this was only 141. Also, the fastest ball speed on the day was this. It was 150 miles per hour. I managed to get this up. Really, really impressive. I mean, that's my driver. That's what I look for with a driver. 150. Didn't quite get the launch with it, but still managed to get total distance 242 yards, which is tied longest with the Mizuno. Absolute beast. 150 miles per hour ball speed for me with a fairway wood is insane. But to be fair, having around that 140 mark is spot on. But the reason that we got a winner, which really surprised me, is the launch. I was able to get this in here easier than I could get this. The launch on this was 13 degrees, which obviously giving more carry, giving more distance. The average height as well was 71 feet, so it's staying in the air a little bit longer. While with this, it was just launching at 9 degrees and coming out at 55 feet tall, so that apex there. So we had 4 degrees difference on this. And this is supposed to be the lower spin, you know, lower launch sort of bomber. And I was really getting this into the air really well. Don't get me wrong, both stiff shafts, both sort of same sort of category of stiff shaft as well. I mean, like sort of launch wise, and they were both set at 15 degrees. But for some reason, this was just launching a lot better for me than the TSR2. And that is what was giving this the win, basically. That is what was giving this the win, because the distance has been so good with it because of that extra launch. Now, going into basically, you know, what's going to go into my bag. But before that, just say about on-course features. On course, I think I had the same issue with this, was getting up on the air when I did have this in there, which is fine, middle of the summer. You know, it's been quite dry over here in the UK recently, so the ball's going to travel, it's going to roll out. But this, I took this out to Silvermere the other day, had a really good round for myself actually, left a lot of putts out there for birdie. Didn't 3-putt at all, but a lot of putts out there for birdie, and shot a 77, which for me, you know, being that low handicap, 8 handicap, very happy with. I definitely could have shot, what did I say, not 77, sorry, I shot 78. 78, I missed a birdie just on the last one, just missed it, which is giving me 77, which I keep on thinking it's 77, but no, shot 78, you know, very happy with that. I definitely did leave that one birdie out there and probably a few others, so it could have been a lot lower, normally around maybe that 75 mark, to be honest. Really good day of golf for me. But this, you know, I only had the chance to hit this a few times. One time, perfect par 5, Silvermere, you hit it sort of a mid-iron towards a lake, and then you hit a sort of fairway wood over, and then you get really close to the green and get it onto the green. It's par 5, and you have a birdie opportunity. Worked perfectly that. But what really, really performed really well for me, which really pleased me, was the last, well, not last hole, but last driving hole was 16. Hit a really nice driver, but just unfortunately, there's a big oak tree on the right of the fairway, which sort of dog left. hit the tree, unfortunately, and just stopped in the middle of the fairway. Fine, but I was 225 yards from the pin uphill. And I hit this beautiful draw shape like I normally like, you know, comes out to the right and then draws back in center. Beautiful. Right at the pin. It was actually behind the pin off the back of the green. Absolutely fine. Little chip on and one putt, and I got my par. So really, really happy with that. You know, helped me recover and helped me to get par. Probably one of the hardest holes at Silvermere. So the performance of that then was beautiful. You know, got the flight, got the launch to get up the hill as well, and then to hit that green and roll off. You know, and it was literally in line from when I hit it behind the flag. So really happy with that. You know, so 225. That's probably travelled maybe 235. You know, up to that 240 mark, which maybe, like I said, might be a bit long, but perfect, absolutely perfect. So really happy with it. So on the golf course, again, the Mizuno has won it for me. The Mizuno ST-G performed how I wanted to do, really giving me confidence in this club. But I will say though, the Titleist TSR2, as I mentioned, is an amazing club, and I am surprised by those figures, because when I'm at the range, I do obviously look at the figures when I'm hitting these clubs, but I wasn't really looking at them that deeply until I come back here and then analyse them out. And on the range, I definitely felt like I was hitting that better. It felt like it was easier to hit. Really did. But for some reason, the Mizuno was actually coming out a lot better. A lot better. And the forgiveness isn't that bad. I mean, I've hit a few around sort of closer to the toe, and it's not bad, but the forgiveness is definitely higher in the TSR2, so do be aware of that. But yeah, and I'll also say, love the feel of Mizuno woods, but the TSR2 is definitely a nicer feeling fairwood as well. However, as I mentioned, we have a winner, and the winner for me is definitely the Mizuno ST-G Titanium. This is what's going in my bag, and this is what is going with me to the links course this weekend for my sort of tournament that I'm in. I'm really looking forward to using it. Sort of half hoping that I don't hit some good shots, so I actually have the opportunity to use it quite a bit. But there you go. So for me, the Mizuno ST-G Titanium is an outright winner against the Mizuno the Titleist TSR2. Boom. It's nice when we have a really big winner. A lot of the time they're quite close. This is a clear winner. However, this is an amazing club. So keep your eye on it at the moment, because like I said, the GT line's coming out. So you might be able to pick this up on the cheap. All right, guys, hope you've enjoyed this versus video. Now, do leave a comment down below. You know, if you played Mizuno or played Titleist, you know, if you played both of these over some period of time, you know, which fairway would you prefer? Would you prefer Mizuno fairway, or would you prefer Titleist? Leave me a comment down below. Remember to give this video a like if you enjoyed it, and hit that subscribe button so you do not miss out on weekly ACS golf reviews and a lot more bonus videos such as this. All right, guys, I'll catch you soon for the next ACS golf review. See you then.